What is your immediate impressions now we have this, what appears to be very strong mandate for Mr. Poroshenko?
Thank you. I think that Mr. Poroshenko will continue the policies that started 3 months ago by a new team, because we've got a lot of obligation before our people, obligation before international community. As you know, we've got a very good standby program with IMF, signed by IMF directors on 30th of April, and it's a huge amount of 17 billion USD, and plus we've got a very good guarantee line from US government, 1 billion. But it's not only the resources that we have.
Sure.
We have a good signal, positive signal for investors to come to Ukraine.
Okay, we'll talk about the economics in a moment as well, but there are enormous challenges, and it won't be lost on anyone that Mr. Poroshenko last night said his first objective is to go to Donbass and speak to the people of Donetsk and that region as well. Many people there don't welcome the president, don't recognize the president as well. This has got to be the first and biggest challenge, isn't it? Regaining control over Ukraine's borders.
Yeah, I think that it's not only from the political point of view control, but from economic point of view. Still, central bank, for example, and other institutions working at the eastern part of Ukraine in very difficult conditions, I can confirm it. Even salaries, wages, pensions and social payments that done and performed together with Treasury and government and central bank, they're doing that with such kind of military or war conditions. And as soon as we got peace there, so we continue our reforms that we started.
Sanctions. Mr. Poroshenko saying it's a method, not a weapon, it's not something he wants to use as an end to itself. But there are a lot of people who want sanctions again, and they think that's the only way to bring the Russians to the table. What do you think about sanctions?
I think that sanctions should be there, definitely, because we still have this aggression.
More sanctions? Tougher sanctions?
I think tougher sanctions, especially against some big Russian companies and big Russian banks.
So again, that's important, and I'm going to make the point here, and interrupt if I may, because that ratchets up the tension rather than taking down the tensions if there is a third round of sanctions. That's going to fly in the face of everything that Mr. Putin and Mr. Poroshenko have said about finding some accord.
I think that some matters already in the court, in the arbitrage. It's one of the big deal of our gas agreement. And I think same way could be done in the banking sector, for example. As you know, all the state-owned banks branches and even central bank building were arrested by Crimean regime.
Yeah.
And we're still thinking what's the best way, what's the civilized way to have sanctions against these actions.